Here we are again at the CSU Extension eStore test server. Again, test is right after the Kalo state there in the URL is how we know we are on the test server and not the actual production server. In our last session, we went to catalog and built a main category for the fictional county, Wapello County, then made a subcategory for Wapello County Tech Workshops. Today, we're going to go to products and we're going to define a specific workshop for that subcategory we made in Wapello County. Once again, we are in Catalog and Products. I'm going to click Add New to add a new product. And I'm going to make sure before I start that this button is at Advanced. It's a toggle. If I click it again, it goes to Basic. But in nearly all cases here on the Nelnet CSU Extension eStore, I want to be on the Advanced version so I can see all my possible options. We've just clicked Add a New Product, so we're going to define our product type as either simple or grouped, meaning it's a product with several variations, say color or size. We'll stick with simple. Visible individually, yes. Our product name and our short description come next. Here's our product name, Wapello County Tech Workshop. We have a short description, Computer Applications Workshop, gives a date and a time at the Wapello County Extension office. You can add a longer description down here if you like, under full description. SKU is the number you use, the unique identifier for a product. You are not required to have an SKU on your product. So if you have one, you should put it in here. If you don't have one, I wouldn't worry about it. This published is automatically checkmarked as soon as you begin working on the product, though you can unpublish it if you don't want it to be published right away. We'll go to tags next. These are just tags that help define and describe the product to that end user. Here are our tags: technology, computer applications, web design, online stores, WordPress, Colorado State University, and extension. To delete a tag, simply click the X at the right there, and to add a tag, you simply type it in and hit enter. GTIN is the global trade item number. You don't have to have one of these. If you do have one, put it in there. Same with the part number. If you have a manufacturer part number, leave show on homepage off. You can allow customer reviews if you like. Our available start date will be today since it's for a workshop that we are going to be starting today. So I'll put down August 7th. Availability end date, I think we have September 12th as when our workshop starts. So I will put September 13th at our end date, meaning we'll give somebody there on the 12th the ability to go ahead and buy the product. You can mark it as a new product if you like. You can add a comment here if you like. Our workshop is not a gift card. If it were, you can check the checkbox and you're given the choice of whether it's a virtual or physical gift card and how much the gift card amount is for by either typing it in here or using these arrows. We'll turn that off. You can work with downloadable products by clicking this checkbox and then uploading a file. There is a file limit of 4 megs, so if you have a file bigger than 4 megs, you might want to use a download URL instead. Put the URL here, for instance, a Dropbox account or a Google Drive account. You can give them unlimited downloads. If you don't give them unlimited downloads, you can give them a maximum number of downloads they have. The number of days they have to download that product can go here. The download activation type is either manually or automatic when the order is paid. You can give them a user agreement by checking this checkbox and then typing the text for that user agreement right here. And you can work with a sample download file if you want. And again, just like the previous download file, you have the option to either upload a file or if it's larger than 4 megs, use the download URL. Let's move on to recurring products. I have been told this is used mostly for donations and that you cannot use this for donations in the CSU Extension eStore. That was simply the example I was given. However, if you want to have a recurring product, let's say once a month, your cycle length would be 12. The cycle period would be months, and the total cycle would be 1. So this would be a recurring product that occurs at the beginning of every month. If you're working with a rental, you check this checkbox, and this gives you a rental period length as well as the time period for that rental. So you can rent it for, say, 4 weeks. We have a price set in of $25. The old price, if you have a different older price, you can put it in here. And if you have the actual product cost, you can put it in here. You can disable the buy button if you're telling them to contact you directly to buy something. You can also disable the wish list button so they can't put a product into a wish list. You can make the product available for pre-order. You can have them call for the price. You can have them enter their own price. This is apparently useful for donations, though I have been informed that you are not allowed to use the CSU Extension eStore for donations, so please don't use the customer enters price option to allow donations. You can have the base price listed by checking this. If there's discounts, put it here. If it's tax exempt, use this checkbox and then put in the tax category here. If it's a telecommunications, broadcasting, or electronic service, you use this checkbox. And then we'll go back up to the top here. We're going to save and continue to edit right here so we don't lose any of our changes. Inventory is next. So obviously, if you have an inventory of items, you can use this to track the number and also track when you are done selling everything you had in the store. This is also useful for workshops, however. And one of the reasons I chose workshop is the item we're selling. Let's say we want to track our inventory. We click track inventory here, and a lot more options come up. Our stock quantity, we're going to say is 25 people. We'll assume we have a classroom of 25 people. We don't need to put anything under warehouse or multiple warehouses. We can display the availability to the end user so they know how many seats are left in this class, and stock availability as well. We don't need a minimum stock quantity, though 0 is a good number to leave that at. If there's low stock activity, we can disable the buy button or unpublish, meaning that as soon as we run out of seats, this disappears from the store. If we notify for quality below 1, this will send us an email whenever there's 1 seat left in the class. You can set this for 2 to give yourself a little more time if you like. You can back order, which doesn't really apply to a workshop, and the rest of these don't either. However, if you're working with a workshop, that notify for quantity below and using display availability and displaying stock quantity for that end user to let them know how many seats are left in the class is quite useful. If you're working with shipping enabled, these options show up: the weight of the object, length, width, and height, whether the shipping is free or not, whether it should be shipped or separate items should be shipped separately, if there's additional shipping charge, and what the delivery date will be. 1 to 2 days, 3 to 5 days, or a week. We'll go to mappings next. Mappings is very important. So we need to map this product to the category we've previously set up. You may remember from our previous session, we set up a category of Wapello County Tech. So I'm going to type in WAP to get our counties, Wapello County Test, Wapello County Tech Workshop. So I'll click that, and that becomes our category. Again, 2 subcategories within county: Wapello County Test and Wapello County Tech Workshop Test. Limited to stores. You may also remember from our categories lesson, we need to limit this to the extension store. So we'll type in the first few letters for extension and then select that. Under access control list, you can make sure that only certain kinds of visitors to the website are allowed to see this product. So school administration only, guests only, foreign moderators only, and so on. We'll keep this off. If this requires other products, you can check this and then put in the product ID for the product that's required after you or before you get this product. And if there are related products, you can add them here and they will be shown on that page. And similarly, cross-sells, you can add cross-sell products and they can be seen by the individual end user when they look up this product. We're going to go back to the top of the page. So we're done with product info. We'll go to SEO next. That stands for Search Engine Optimization. And here is our SEO information filled out. Our meta keywords are quite similar to our tags in the earlier page: computer applications, WordPress, online store, Colorado State University Extension. Description is a tech workshop. It gives the date and where. Offering WordPress and the workings of the online store will be the focus of the workshop. A meta title, and then a search engine friendly page name, which this is Wapello County Tech Workshop. It's pretty descriptive of what's actually happening with this product. The next tab over from SEO is pictures, and you can use this dialog box to upload up to 5 pictures of your product. For every picture that you do upload, you click upload a file to upload the file. Make sure you add alt text and make sure you add a title. You can also work with the display order using this dialog box right here as you move from picture to picture up here. The rest of these tabs, or the next 2 rather, product attributes and specification attributes, we're going to deal with in a separate session when we go to the products attributes options.